Hi, folks. I have got a legendary guest on here. It is David. He is the Silver Fox from Hot Takes, and we spoke about a year ago. He's actually a near neighbour of mine, but now he's out travelling the world. Where are you, David?
Hi, Liam. Yeah, nice to be back with you. I'm currently in Paphos. My regular viewers know I do this quite a bit. And so, I'll come back and forth. But first time I've talked to you from Paphos in Cyprus, I
Yes,
must say.
that's true. Now, David is amazing because he does, I don't know, 20 videos a day. He updates on the news all the time. Very, very popular on YouTube. So I want to get his take on a few of the issues that are going on today. We're going to do a bang bang straight through with a few issues. Obviously, the big issue at the moment of the day is the murder of Henry Novak. What were your thoughts on it? I mean, it was devastating, wasn't it?
I think in of itself, it was horrifying.
Yeah.
To even know about it was bad, but then to see the footage, that video footage, was really, I think, the final nail in the coffin for a lot of people when it comes to the sort of the DEI push, things like that. You have Starmer. I mean, it was in PMQs yesterday, and he was talking about there is no two-tier policing, and yet we see two-tier policing in action. And the chief constable's own handbook actually tells them to like target arrests by numbers, by quotas. They don't want to arrest too many people of color. It tells them to treat situations based on color and all this. So Starmer standing there saying no two-tier policing is absolute rubbish to start with. And then the whole thing, and then it's all trying to make excuses for things instead of addressing what the actual problem is. And nobody wants to. Nobody in Parliament wants to address the problem. Farage stood up in PMQs and talked about two-tier policing, and the whole of Westminster booed him down.
Mhm.
And then basically, what you're saying is that Westminster's against treating everybody the same under the law. And apparently, and the rumor is that as he was coming back down the corridor after PMQs, a Labour MP came past him, sort of tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Well done." He says, "You lost the House today." He says, "But you've just won the country." Because it's
Absolutely.
not just me, everyone is fed up with it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you foresee any kind of change coming? Because like you've just said there, I think that people are so out of touch, those MPs. I just don't know. I think they're just going to keep on going. Do you think any change will come from this?
I think they will say the words, they'll say the platitudes, they'll buns for elephants. There must be changes. We will learn lessons from this. All the usual rubbish that they say, and then they just carry on doing it. But um, I think there will be changes now. I think that a lot of organisations will look at this and they realise the mood of the nation. While sort of local government, national government, the state sort of won't move too much on it. I think a lot of actual companies that rely on public money and rely on us buying stuff and things will start listening to the people, um, because they'll be aware, perhaps more than politicians, that people can break companies. If Sainsbury's, for example, just to pick one random, said, right, we're ditching DEI, we're not having this and that and the other, um, people would look on that more favourably than, say, Tesco's that go, no, no, we're keeping DEI. People go, well, screw you, Tesco's, and it will force a shift. I think companies will move. I think the general public are already moving,
Mhm.
um, and it is just so wrong. But for the police to turn up, I mean, I think it's disgusting. The police turn up. There's someone on the ground, obviously in trouble. I'm
Mhm.
dying. I've been stabbed. I can't breathe. Yeah, sure you have, mate. You know, I don't think so, mate. I think he said, didn't he? Um, and they're saying that, oh, this is a result of what's the treatment of the training of the police. It
Mhm.
might be, but they're still human beings. Your first reaction is somebody in trouble? Someone says they're in trouble. You check on them. They didn't
Mhm.
even do that. They arrested
Do
him.
you
They
think
didn't even. They didn't arrest the guy that committed, or they didn't put the guy who committed the murder in handcuffs.
do you think the police should be prosecuted?
Absolutely. He died in police custody. He'd been read his rights. He'd been arrested. He was in handcuffs. He was in police custody, and they failed in their duty of protection against him. They need to face manslaughter charges. They didn't murder him, I'll give them that, but it's certainly manslaughter.
Mhm. What do you feel about the police in general? I mean, I'm probably older than you, but I go back to the days of Dixon and Dock Green, where we people used to have a kind of respect for the police. Having covered so many demonstrations and things like that now, I have no respect for the police at all. It's just gone. It's gone. How do you feel about? And of course, you've had your own experience, haven't you?
Still have. Still
Really?
have.
Do you
I'll
want
tell you,
one to kind of
some of your
update?
regular viewers, I'd say your viewers won't necessarily know. But
Yeah,
first of all, the police respect, that's gone. Yeah, the days of Dixon and Dock Green are long
yeah,
gone. I mean,
yeah,
I even like the Sweeney, because at
yeah.
least they were doing something.
Yes.
But they were hard cops, but they were good cops.
Yeah,
Now I look at cops now, and I got zero respect because they've got
yeah.
zero respect for us.
Mhm.
Now, for those who don't know, I made some videos, and then I got a knock at the door on a Friday night. I was arrested, taken to a police station, locked up in a cell until 2 o'clock in the morning, questioned for 4 hours about these 4 videos, and then released at that point without charge. But they bailed me. They
Mhm.
bailed me again. They bailed me again. I've now off bail, but I'm still pending decision on prosecution by the CPS. It's been over
Right.
a year. Getting
Mhm.
nearly 18 months. Still nothing. They've got nothing. This is the trouble. I did nothing wrong. I exercised free speech. They didn't like it. And so they're sitting there desperate. They took my phone, they took my computer, they took my tablet. I had to go out and buy new ones of them. Um, said, "Oh, we're going to check for anything on there that's bad." There's nothing on there that's bad. I've got zero, worries about that. Um, but they're desperate to try and get something on it. They've got nothing. I said, I cracked one. One was an obvious bit of satire. On 2 of the videos, I simply said, Kier Starmer wrote lamppost. Oh, that's incitement to murder the Prime Minister. Oh, God, no, it isn't. It's 4 random words. And
Yeah.
then on another one, I had a go because I was talking about immigrants and that's racism. And I pointed out, no, immigrant isn't a race. It isn't a protected characteristic. It's
Mhm.
simply um, a status. Oh, and they
Mhm.
didn't like that either. 4 hours. The inspector who was questioning me said it was the longest. What's the word? Longest, not interrogation, but
Interview or something. Yeah.
interview. That's it. Police
Yeah.
interview
Yeah.
he had ever done. I thought, well,
Yeah.
what kind of respect for 4 hours is the longest you can done? You haven't done anything serious, have you? But there we
How did
go.
you cope with that, though? I mean, you're like a man from the street and all that, and suddenly you're bunged in jail for just having an opinion. Has that had a mental effect on your life?
Yes, it did. They bailed me, and they said that one of the bail conditions is I wasn't to make videos of a contentious nature, and I wasn't to tell people about this one.
Mhm.
So I got home about 6:30 in the morning, put my computer up, put me camera on, and my very first video at 6:30 in the morning is "You'll never guess what's just happened to me," and I just screw them. So I did that straight out, boom, 30,000 views before lunchtime. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. Um, yeah, but since then I've become aware. See, I've never. The trouble is, I haven't stopped saying the things I've been saying. I'm
Mhm.
just couching it very slightly. So instead of
Mhm.
saying "this is," I say "is this?" question mark.
Yeah.
Um, and you can ask the question without making a statement, kind of thing, or you put a
Mhm.
lot of allegedlys in there. So I've been a bit more couched in the language. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's that's the only change.
Does it hang
I
over
certainly
you?
haven't grown any more fonder of the police. No.
No, no. But I mean, is there a time like you go to sleep at night and it kind of hangs over you and you think, oh, I could be banged up here, or what? Do you ever get any of that?
No, no. I did at the beginning. I've become more philosophical about it now. The longer it goes, the less
Mhm.
chance I have of, because if it was that serious, they'd have had me. You
Yes.
had all those people locked up after Southport and that they can't find. If they could find something, they'd have found it. They can't, and so the process is the punishment now. But I'm not even being punished. Like I say, I'm sitting here in Cyprus, don't give a flying egg.
Were you worried? Because there's been a few people that have sort of been actively involved in the sort of anti-government movement who get stopped at airports and stuff. So when you're going over to Paphos, did you think, oh, I might get pulled at the customs or anything?
I thought the first time I might. I
Yeah.
did think that. Not going out so much as coming back in the first time, but no, no,
Yeah.
I've been over a dozen times since then. It's hardly been a thing.
No. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's so good. How are you feeling about Britain at the moment? About Starmer and what the kind of vibe I get from everybody is a lot of despair. People are, giving up. People can't get jobs, or they've got no money. They can't go out. They can't do anything. This, that, and the other. How are you feeling about living in the UK?
It is depressing. If you haven't got money in the UK now, I can see why, not to defend it, but I see why so many people go shoplifting or commit crime,
Yes,
because
I
there's
agree.
not enough money to live on. Food
Mm.
is, I mean, food has doubled in price almost since Labour came to power.
Yes.
You can't afford to drive a car. Everything
No.
going up, 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 except wages. It's deliberate policy. They are. I get the impression they set out and their plan was deliberately destroy Britain in every
Mhm.
possible way. Destroy its culture, destroy its economy, destroy its defences, destroy its future. And they could stop the boats coming in. They choose not to. They
Yeah.
could they could keep the oil flowing and we'd have cheap energy. They're not doing
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
every single thing they're doing is the worst possible decision. To do once would be happenstance, twice is coincidence, three times that's enemy action. Only it's about 33 times. They are enemies of the state. I'm pretty sure Starmer is actually a Chinese agent.
Yeah, I could well believe it, and it is amazing that we can't use our oil, isn't it? How are you feeling about the whole net zero thing? Because obviously there's a chance of Miliband actually getting in, which would be just disastrous.
Well, he's just signed us up to a 25, no, a 25, you wish, an 87% reduction in our carbon output within 14 years. He wants a 25% reduction in the amount of milk, dairy, and meat eaten in this country. So
Yes.
enjoy your bug burgers.
I know.
The man's an ideological lunatic,
Yeah.
but the worst thing is he's a dangerous ideological lunatic. And there's a chance if Miliband becomes prime minister that prick, for the want of a better word, that sandwich destroying idiot, could be the chancellor.
Yeah.
Look how much damage he's done with energy. Imagine how much more he could do if he was chancellor. It's frightening. And I tell you, it's not frightening for you and me. We're old buggers. We'll be gone before too much damage has happened. Anyone young,
Still young,
what
folks, still
what
young.
a world they're coming into.
I
It's
know.
going to be a disaster.
Yeah. No, I agree. I actually feel really sorry for young people. It's very difficult for them to get jobs. And if you think what the great time that we had in the, 80s, 90s, 2000s and all that, absolutely fantastic. It was just a different world then, wasn't it? It was
Oh,
exciting, vibrant,
you
you could do what you want.
yeah, you were free. You went through the 80s. The 80s was a period of such great technological change. It
Yes.
went from the sort of the dour 70s through
Hmm.
to the techno 90s, and the 80s was just 10 years of constant poof change. Nothing was
Yeah.
the same, but the clothes were great, the music was
Yeah.
great, everything was
Yes.
great, and you didn't have state control. And with that, I think the 80s was just the best time.
Absolutely. Totally agree. What are you feeling really about Keir Starmer? Do you think he's ever going to resign? I actually think that man has no shame. I'm not even sure he's a human being. I'm almost at that thing now. Either that, or I think, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I think he's ill mentally.
He's half man, half limpet. He will cling on to power. He's a narcissist.
Yes,
He's
that's it.
absolute narcissist. He can do no wrong. He sees no wrong in himself. He's psychopathic. He has
Yes.
no way of relating to real people. The way he walks, the way he looks. You ever look at him and he
Yes.
talks and he's like bah, 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 bah,
Yeah.
bah, bah. And
Yeah.
when he was in oh God Lord, where was it? Up Southport.
Yes.
He literally
Oh,
went, oh,
terrible.
I must be there. And he walked up, threw down the £3 garage flowers, and then
Yes.
marched back and got into the car. Didn't say a word, didn't speak to me, didn't even look. He wasn't even looking at the crowd.
No.
He's looking dead
No.
straight ahead. Must get out of here. Real people, real people.
Yeah.
He can't handle real people. And there's people in number 10, and I have people, I know people with contacts
Yeah.
and things, and they say that he can't relate. Nobody actually relates to him. He's literally a very lonely man. He's got no friends.
Mhm.
Nobody will pop in and, oh, how you doing? Like that, like you're doing a business set. If you're at work and you're someone from the other department pops in, oh, how you doing, mate? Oh yeah, chat, chat, chat. And you go, none of that happens.
Yeah.
He's all, oh, we must focus on this, and then we must focus on that. He's on the spectrum somewhere. I'm sure I'm on there, but I'm Aspergic. But
Yeah.
he's full scale. He's toys in the attic, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's something
there's something wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right with even just saying,
What what
even with the way
what's
he
what's
walked.
the it's the term. I can't think of the term. Oh, uncanny valley. He
Right?
looks like a human,
Yeah.
but he's not quite human, and it's sort of very creepy.
Yeah. There's no shame. There's
No,
no anything. He just is utterly convinced he's robotic, that he is right and it's his way. And
I bet he doesn't even dream, Liam. I bet he doesn't even dream.
that's it. That when he's in a sort of situation and all the votes go against him, he said the message really is from the public that I just keep going further and faster in the same direction, as opposed to thinking, well, actually, I might just veer to that way a little bit or the other way. It's the most bizarre character. He really is. Are you a Reform man? Are you a Rupert Lowe man? Or where do you head for?
I've got to start by saying that I loathe all politicians. They're all loathsome
Okay.
creatures.
Yeah.
But that said, if we're going to have change, we have to have change, and it can only come from reform. So I'm
Yes.
supporting reform. I don't think Nigel Farage is the Messiah. I don't
No.
think reform are going to be any better. I just
Mhm.
think they're going to be different. And it'll send the message to the other mainstream uni party members that we have to have change. Things need to change. We need to do things differently.
Mhm.
I don't know how good or bad reform will be, but they'll just be different.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm supporting them. I like Rupert Lowe. I like a lot of the things he said. Same with Ben Habib, to be honest. I like a lot of the things
That's
he
right,
said,
Ben. Yeah.
but they're too small. They are not there yet to change. Reform are the only ones that can have a chance of changing Britain. The one thing, and I desperately hope they fall through with it, is that reform promised to end the net zero madness.
Yes.
If
Yes.
nothing else, let that happen. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think with this by-election coming up that Rupert Lowe should stand aside, or some people are saying that Reform should stand aside because they're splitting the vote?
Of course, he has the right to stand. You can't say he doesn't. And so I agree that he does have the right to stand. I think it would be a shame if Labour win that seat and the differential is smaller than what Rupert Lowe got. So Rupert
Mhm.
Lowe's votes, if that would have been enough for Reform to have won the seat, I think that would be a shame.
Yeah, yeah. And do you think who do you think is going to win? Do you think Burnham's going to get him?
I want Reform to win it, but that's my head. But my
Mhm.
heart tells me that yeah, Burnham will scrape it. I don't think he'll win by a big margin, but I think he will win. It all depends on turnout. If it's a big turnout, I think Reform will do it. If it's a small turnout, I think Burnham will do it.
So with your channel, folks, and do subscribe to the channel because Dave does a fantastic job, and you're going to get your news there, and he's very opinionated, and he does it fantastically all day. And what do you get the feeling from the public that they are actively engaged politically, or do you think they're a bit apathetic still?
Yeah, I think there's a large swathe of people that just washes over them. They don't care. I don't think it's apathy. I think it's just simply, particularly with the young, they're just disengaged because it's like, well, it doesn't. It's pointless. There's nothing changes. Doesn't matter who's in. It's all going to be the same shit. And I can understand that. I tell you, who's very active is us, the oldies,
Yes.
um, because especially the silver vote. It's the biggest
Are we the
voting
silver vote? Are
cohort.
we the silver
Well,
vote? Is that what we are?
hey, look, I am.
Sort of, if
I
I had it, yeah.
am.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, the silver vote is the biggest voting cohort, and of course they're the most active. And then you look at the sort of you've got the lefty activists there, but they're there. So I mean, there are sort of various little cohorts of voting people. But yeah, I think there's a good. I'm going to say 30% of people who just
Mhm.
have not voted, will not vote, just do not care.
No.
Like I say, it's not apathy, it's disillusionment.
Really. You would think, though, in actual fact, the way the country is so extreme and it's getting worse and worse and worse, that would actually motivate people to vote. I would have thought that they would be more motivated to at least get the present government
Yeah.
out. But it doesn't appear to be so, does it?
No, that's why, to be honest, that's why Labour are in. It's not that
Yes.
anyone voted for Labour. In
No,
fact,
nobody voted for them.
the Labour vote fell at the
Yeah.
last general election. It's just that nobody wanted to bother going out and vote for the Tories. And who can
No.
blame them after the 14 years and all the stuff they've done?
Yeah.
Nobody, I don't think Labour weren't voted into office. It was just the Tories were voted out.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, can I ask you, have you ever thought of standing yourself?
I have stood in a couple of council elections before,
Right. Yeah. Any good?
in very strong Labour wards as a Tory.
Right.
And on both occasions, I got the highest vote the Tories had ever got in those wards. But
Right. Well, that's
neither of
good.
them did I win. Yeah.
Could you not stand for reform or stuff? Mind you, I mean, it's very difficult to stand for. They want to see your social media, don't they? And so
Yeah.
it's quite
Oh,
difficult to become
they
a
wouldn't
candidate.
have me. They
No,
wouldn't
they
have
wouldn't.
me. The things that I said and my opinion, and then sometimes I'll just have a rant. I do like a
Yeah.
good rant every now and again. It's every 3, 4 days or something, right? And I'll actually put it in the headline, sweary
Yes.
rant about such
Yeah.
and such. And then I sit there
Yeah.
and I just, and I tell you what, it's very cathartic. I get my rant over and I go, oh, I needed that. What's my next subject? Oh, so and so. Okay, then back to the wall. Blah, 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 blah. And, but you get that out of you, and it's just great, you know. But
That's
people
it.
kind of like the sweary rants.
When did you first decide to do this? Did you suddenly just appeared and said, right, I've got to have my opinion? And did you have opinions before, or did you just suddenly become this opinionated person?
Oh, I've had opinions all my life. I just never had an outlet. No, I spent 35 years working in construction industry, in accounts, sort of
Yeah.
doing office accounts, but then doing things like budgeting, risk management, a bit of QS work, things like that. So spent the whole time there. And then I retired. And I was like, COVID.
Right.
Never watched YouTube. Never watched YouTube till COVID came.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I could do that. I'll give it a go. And I look back on some of the early ones now and I thought, oh, God, they're awful. Because you don't know what you're doing.
No.
And then I just started taking over. And then all of a sudden, about 3 years ago, I went, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm actually. So I was putting a few out, like a bit of a couple out a day, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I went, no, I enjoy this too much. I made the
Yeah.
conscious decision. That's 3.5 years ago, I think it is now. I was right, I'm sitting there. So I said to my wife, this is what I'm doing now. And she went, okay. And it's changed my life.
That's it.
It's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh,
I just
fantastic. Now,
love.
do you get recognized?
Oh, I was in a bar here the other night, and a
Oh,
guy came up to me and said, "Hey, Foxy." I went, "Oh, hello, hello, hello." Stood up, I shook his hand and that. Next thing I sat down, the barman's brought a drink over. He said, "Your man's brought you a drink." I went, "Oh, thank you very much." But no, Northern Irishman he was, and he said, "I've watched you from the beginning." Oh, yeah, yeah. So, oh, thank you
it's
very much for the drink.
fantastic because, like you say, it is cathartic that you can get your opinions off your chest and all of that, and so you really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's just great. It is. It's hard work. People think it's easy. It's not. I do so many videos a day, and I have to. Where's my tablet? I'm looking at it. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Um, so I write. So I've got me show you here. So I've got the computer here.
Yeah.
So I write the scripts, and then I pass it over into a file that I then
Yeah.
read. So I actually do my main recording on my phone because it's
Right.
4K.
Yes.
Um, and I have the tablet in my hand. So I've written my script, got my script, do the piece to camera. I don't always stick to the script. The script's the basis, and then I'll put in
Yes.
opinions here or say add something there, do a little tangent somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then at that, boom, upload, boom, move to the next one. What we're going to do here, spend 5, 10 minutes writing a script, record. And it's constant churn because,
Yeah.
you
Not
know,
easy. Not easy to
that's what it
do.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. What's your view on Trump? I'm a big fan of Trump. Are you a Trump fan?
I love his style. Yeah, he doesn't. You see, most presidents get there because they've been bought because they
Yes.
need money, and well, he
Mm.
bought himself. He doesn't
Yeah.
owe allegiance to anyone, and that's why
No.
they don't like him because they
No.
can't control him because he spent his own money to get there.
Yeah.
And I just love it. It's very refreshing. It's a shame he's going to finish in a couple of years and that's it. That's him
Yeah.
done.
Well,
Mind you,
what are the
he
Democrats going
started
to
to look a bit
do?
peaky. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. What are the Democrats going to do when he's gone? I mean, they've got Trump derangement syndrome. What are they going to do?
They haven't really got anyone who's a natural leader at the moment, have they?
No.
One.
No.
There's no one risen from the ranks of the Democrats.
No.
Whereas on the Republicans, obviously you've got maybe Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
He's
Great.
got a
Yeah. I like
chance.
him.
Vance have
Barnes.
got a chance. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got
I,
two or three
I,
of them that could do it.
Yeah, I'm a big Republican fan. I'm sure I'll get a bit of stick over that, but I'm a Trump man and all of that.
Well,
What do
I've got to say then, we lived through the greatest leadership the world has ever seen. Thatcher and Reagan.
yeah, Yeah, folks, I got to say, I was at my most successful because I was able to be successful. A lot of people knock Thatcher, but I have to say, during that era, that was when I was at my most successful because she created an environment where you could earn money and you could do well. I loved it then.
Yeah.
Was it the
And you
same for
weren't
you?
overly taxed. You kept cutting the tax.
Yeah, cutting the taxes and everything else like that. And Reagan was fantastic as well. So he was good. So now you're in Paphos. Are you thinking like so many Brits that you may just leave the country and move to Paphos?
I would live here in a heartbeat.
Right,
Unfortunately, my wife still works and she's not ready to commit yet. So that's
right.
why I keep going back and forth. But I'd live here tomorrow like that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to do another few minutes because you're a busy man. You've got to get out on the veranda and is it sunny over there? Is it beautiful over there at the moment?
It's dark now.
Oh,
I'm 2 hours ahead. It's night time.
so do you have any hobbies or anything? Are you like a football man? Are you into the World Cup coming up or anything?
Oh, well, I've got we've got the table, we've got a big bar here in Paphos. It's got like loads of TV. And we're over
Right.
for the World Cup, so I shall be in there a lot,
Yeah.
watching a lot of games, on in there. And I might have the odd shandy or nine or something,
Right.
So yeah, I'll be a wobbly fox on the way home, that's for sure.
Couple more questions, right? Digital ID. Tell us what your feelings are about that.
Oh God, worst idea ever. I mean, out of principle, it's bad, but also technically, they want a
Yeah.
big database with everybody, all of everyone's information, which is terrible. Everyone in cybersecurity will tell you you never put all your eggs in one basket. You never put all your data in one field or one database. It's incredibly dangerous. Plus, this is Britain, so you know the security on this will be rubbish. It'll be hacked within hours, and then your whole life will be destroyed because 70 million bloody credit cards will be applied for, passports will be done, this, that, and the other. And they want your medical history on there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
madness. It's sheer lunacy. But you don't expect much else from this party of lunatics.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people out in the country are depressed. They're down. They are, having to do all the high cost of living, everything else like that. How can you rally the nation, David, for them to be inspired to keep on going?
Well, keep on going because they can't last forever. There's 3 years at the most. If you can go through the next 1,000 days and then rejoice when that bunch of clowns are voted out, never to come back, and make the
Never.
promise that it doesn't matter who you vote for, make sure you vote against this lot, get them out and destroy them.
So there is optimism, is there, for the future?
We got 1,000 days to go. Count them
God,
down.
that sounds like a threat, that is. Now, very, very important before we go, tell everybody about your channel, where they can contact you, where they can follow you. Yeah, all your social media stuff.
Well, the channel is Silver Fox Hot Takes. That's the main channel. I've got a couple of other channels, but that's the main one, Silver Fox Hot Takes. You'll get me on X. I'm gonna have to check here because I'm not
Oh,
sure. If,
check.
no. It's one or the other. I can never remember which way around it is. Okay, it's at David Coulter 67 for X.
Mhm.
You'll get me there. And if you want email, it's silverfox at live.co.uk. I was lucky to get
Fantastic.
that one.
Yeah, so
That's a hell of a
subscribe, everybody, because you're
yeah.
going to get news. I mean, literally about every 10 minutes from David's channel. He's prolific. So look, have a
Someone
great.
someone called me the hardest working YouTuber.
You are. I don't think anybody can compete. I was thinking recently, my other half of that, she said, "Oh, you should post, 2 or 3 times a day." And I said, "Look at David. He's 20 times a day. You can't compete with this man. You can't compete." So lovely to speak to you. I'm sure we'll do this again in another year.
Yes, absolutely, mate.
All right. Thanks so much, David.
Okay, thank you very much for having me on, and thank you very much for all the folks that are watching. Bye.